Hi there, my name's Beth, and today I'm going to do my 2020 wrap up. This is going to be more of like an overview of specifics that happened this year in my life, and yeah, I posted a video hopefully yesterday because this is 5 seconds after I filmed that one, so hopefully I'm good at that. But they should be posted on the 31st, so happy New Year's Eve, everybody. And let's hope that 2021 is better than 2020, but also 2020 was like alright as well. So, I mean, yes and no. We're going to go through and we're going to talk about all the random stuff that's happened in 2020, give you a wrap up, and yeah. First, I want to say I'm sorry that I have not posted regular videos in so long. I mean, this year alone, I was insane, just with everything happening in the world, and then a lot happened in my own life that it just, like, filming YouTube kind of went on the back burner. And by the back burner, I mean, like, the back burner of an oven in a different home. Like, it was the last thing on my mind, and I feel really bad because I know that the few of you who are watching want to watch, and I really appreciate that. But life kind of hit like this weird spiral in a good and a bad way. And I just couldn't film. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to film. So, yeah. So 2020 started out good, I guess. I spent the New Year's Eve slash New Year's Day with my two best friends, their respective partners, the guy I was seeing, and we had a good time. And like, it was fun. Everything was normal. We were just being young, having some fun at our home, and like just enjoying the night. So the year started out great. Probably 2 or 3 days later, I got sick, and I was sick for almost the first 3.5 weeks of the year. And I it was weird because I had no idea what was happening. It was probably like a cold or a flu, is what I thought. And now looking back, I probably had some form of coronavirus. So that was how I started my year. The first, like, probably the entirety of January, I was sick. Like, couldn't do a lot, didn't want to do a lot, and I had no idea what was happening, so I just maintained going to work and living the life as much as I could because back in January, we didn't know how intense this was. So, yeah. Um, February, I got my best little buddy, and I am so happy about that. He is right there. This is Zuma, and I love him so much. I adopted him February 20th of 2020, and that day will forever be so special because he is just such a sweet cat. Talking about you, but he just makes my heart so happy, and he's so sweet. Um, and it was just so fun to like go find him in this crazy world. I will stop moving so much. um, like I went to the shelter and I knew I wanted a pet. I didn't know what I wanted, but for where I live currently and all that, I figured a cat would be best. And he was just so like affectionate, purring, walking in his little cage, like, right against the door, and all the other cats were very standoffish and at the back of their cage. And I like instantly looked at him and I said to the lady who works at the shelter, who was lovely, I want to like interact with him, and he was so affectionate, like right from the start. He was like rubbing and licking all over myself and the person I was with. Um, we'll talk about that in a minute. But like, it was the best decision I've ever made. I am so happy to have this animal in my life. He is like my best little friend anymore. And I couldn't imagine having survived this past year without him, just because it's always there's somebody here to keep me company when like nothing else in the world is happening. So that was February. In March, myself and a person went on a little weekend trip, and this was right as the pandemic was hitting. So, like, we went to a place within the province I live in that's like 4 hours away, and we went for the weekend, and it was like all the tourist attractions were shut down. The only things open were like bars and restaurants, and we spent a lot of time just like outside. So that was like right at the start of the pandemic. And then about a week later, me and said person had this conversation, which is really awkward and fun and uncomfortable. And we had been seeing each other since like the start of the year. But we kind of made ourselves an official relationship, and that was weird and wild, and I've enjoyed every moment of it. So yeah, dating during a pandemic has been interesting. But like I like it because we've actually had to get to know each other, and we've actually had to communicate and not like just constantly be on the go. So, also a couple of days after that, my niece turned 1, and that was so much fun to like. Oh, she's such a cute little lady, and I love her to bits too. So, yeah. Um, so all in that time, I was hiding my now boyfriend from people because it was somebody I had seen in the past, and I didn't want to have them worry. And I also don't think I was super sure of whatever, but like I'm super sure now, obviously, because it's been like 10 months and we're still together. Sorry, I feel very washed out with this lighting. There's a skylight like right there, and it's just like I can't control it. Yeah, so most of the year was pretty boring. Pandemic hit, and I maintained working because I work in food, and we are considered an essential business or service. And my boss wanted to cut down on staff, but I've been there the longest, so like it was just her and I at one point for a while, and then we brought back a couple other people, and we were just working on a very, very minimal team. But I've been glad to have the work where so many other people weren't working and just weren't fortunate enough to maintain a normal income. I feel like I've had a sense of normalcy through all of this because I've been working the whole time. So I think those were like the best parts of my 2020. I mean, this relationship I'm currently in is still so great, and we're growing together. We're like building together, and it's happy and functional. And he's been my rock through this year. I think I made a video like the beginning to middle of August saying like this year was going so great and I feel so lucky because not everyone else is having a good year. And then this giant wall just stopped the year. Um, Something really difficult happened within my life, and one of my favorite people is battling something really intense, and I laugh because I'm uncomfortable, not because it's funny. Um, so the end of August, we had no idea what was happening. There was just such a decline in such a short period of time. And I don't want to be super specific because this isn't my story to tell, really, but like, it's also a huge part of my year. So I'm going to talk about it to remember when I'm 35 or 40 and I want to look back on what the heck happened in 2020. Like, but it was just such a decline so quickly that we had no idea what was happening. And I just felt broken. Um, this year has been a really hard year on my mental health, and not for the, like, nothing to do with coronavirus. It's all been about this person in my life just kind of falling apart. It's been really hard, and my boyfriend has been there for me every step of the way, and he's constantly there when I need somebody to be there so I can cry or break down or get angry. And it's been a lot. And this year has been, the last probably 4 months have been probably four of the hardest months of my life. Um, like, I'm still working and I'm still trying to maintain normalcy, but my whole family is kind of just hit this wall. So there's been a lot of stuff happening and a lot of information that I never expected I would be dealing with at 27 years of age. Oh yeah, in June I turned 27, which was weird. Um, but it was just a lot, and it was so fast, and then the actual results were a suspicion. I knew it was a possibility, but I never wanted to hear it, and I did hear it because that's what happens. And it was like these statistics and these odds were being thrown out, and it was just so hard to watch one of, like, my favorite people in this life not be themselves anymore. And so I have done a lot of, like, internal soul searching this year. And I know that, like, my goal the end of last year was to focus more on my friends, because a lot of the year before I focused a lot on my family and myself, but without my family and myself, I couldn't have made it through this year, and without my boyfriend, I couldn't have made it through this year, and without my cat. But, like, my friendships are very important too, because they've also been people who've been willing to support me through all this. And so, I've also, like, throughout this year, I have developed my spiritual side a lot more. I don't talk about religion a lot on here, and I don't talk about beliefs because it's just something personal to me. But I've developed a lot of my own, like, spiritual beliefs this year, and it was probably for the best because it's easier to believe in something than nothing at all, in my opinion. And especially with something happening like it is. I'm sorry I'm being so vague, but like I don't want to really talk about it. I am obviously, but it's been beneficial for my own mental state to have something, if that makes sense. I've also, my weight has always been like a huge factor in my life, which it probably shouldn't be, but it is. And I have probably lost like 15 pounds in a month from staying busy with work and just from my mental state not being super and everything happening with this person. But I have hope. I like to label the years as they come. And 2018, I woke up on New Year's Day and I felt exhausted and I felt just so like that I labeled it the year of the zombie. And it made sense. And the next year, I forget what I labeled it. And in 2020, I had so much hope that it was going to be such a great year. And I put it as not with a fizzle, but with a bang, because I was going to do something great and might not have been with a fizzle, but with a bang for what I did personally. But life kind of was, it hit with a bang and not a fizzle. So 2021, I'm labeling the year of the unknown because I have no idea what's going to happen. So, I hope that it'll be a good year, but like when that clock strikes midnight on tonight, if this is when you're watching it, the world isn't going to just magically turn so much better because we're still going to be in the same spot we were a minute ago. But I'm not a pessimist. I'm just being a little bit realistic. I find it really funny, those people who are like, I can't wait for 2021 because this year will be over. But nothing's going to dramatically change because the clock strikes midnight. So, I'm going into this year, or 2021, with little expectations of whatever's going to happen, and we're just going to go with it. So, anyways, that's all I have for you for today. I hope you all the best of the remainder of your year, and I hope that 2021 is wonderful for you because this year has been something. But yes, down below, let me know how your year was if you want to talk about it. And until next time, which will hopefully be my 2021 goals, have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you real soon. Stay up. Bye.